Paul George, one of my favorite players in the NBA today. After watching Game 3
This is a
in the
homage
series of
beat.
the Pacers versus Cavaliers, it was very hard and disappointing after what I saw in Indiana. After holding a 26-point lead midway through the third quarter, Indiana somehow found a way to blow that lead and lose the game. Paul George needs to get out of Indiana very quickly if he ever wants to defeat LeBron and win something for once. George has had battles with LeBron but has never been able to get the best of him, as LeBron has beaten him 4-0 in all their meetings. Of course, you can't discredit Paul George for that because, as we all know, LeBron has had the better team and Paul George has never had a championship contending team around him. Nevertheless, Paul George has important decisions to make in this upcoming summer. Well, not this upcoming summer, but the summer after that. Hopefully Indiana trades him before he goes away from nothing, but in this video today we're going to see the possibilities and the possible destinations for Paul George. The top 3 destinations for Paul George. We're going to go from 3, 2, 1. 3 meaning the least likely, but it still makes a little bit of sense. 2 meaning there's some reasons why he could go there, but and 1 meaning most likely and the best choice for him, in my opinion. Starting off number 3, the Los Angeles Lakers.
This is a homage beat.
Now I know what you're thinking. This makes no sense. Why would Paul George leave a non-contending team to go to a team that hasn't even made the playoffs this year? I do understand those points, but Paul George has had a connection with LA. He's from LA. He adores Kobe Bryant. Like, that's his inspiration, and it just makes a lot of sense for him to go to LA. If you guys, for those who didn't know, when Paul George was drafted out of Fresno State, he wore the number 24 in honor of Kobe Bryant. After a few years and showing that he can play in the league, Paul George changed his number to 13 to create his own legacy. Considering that Kobe Bryant is his inspiration, what's better than playing in your inspiration's footsteps and playing for the franchise that he played with? In addition, the Los Angeles Lakers are one of the most storied franchises in the NBA. Although the Los Angeles Lakers are not in a position to win anything as of now, they do have some future assets in Jordan Clarkson, D'Angelo Russell, and Julius Randle, of course. They seem like some late bloomers, but Paul George could really help them. Flourish. And seeing that the Lakers are a team-oriented team behind Luke Walton, this would be a good but not a great destination for Paul George. It would make sense, but at the same time it wouldn't make sense, and it would kind of diminish his hopes of ever defeating LeBron. And plus, you gotta face the Warriors as you are in the Western Conference, so that's highly unlikely to even make the playoffs in a tough Western Conference where
This is a homage beat.
the 8th seed seems like a second seed in the Eastern Conference. Where the 8th seed in the Western Conference seems like the second seed in the Eastern Conference. Number 2, we got the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, the Los Angeles Clippers just lost Blake Griffin to an injury, and they seem now the whole Los Angeles Clippers curse thing might actually be real. Seeing Chris Paul suffer is just one of the most disappointing things, as Chris Paul has been the best point guard in the last 5 to 6 years. But he has never got the appreciation or the publicity of NBA fans because of his lack of making it out the making it to the Western Conference Finals. Paul George can be that final piece behind Paul, Griffin, and DeAndre Jordan. You gotta be that guy that can give you buckets, play defense, and kind of take over a game when Blake Griffin cannot do so. And DeAndre Jordan definitely can't do so, and Chris Paul is fatigued, as he has to be the backbone of that team every single year. The Clippers are kind of lost because after this year, they're not getting past the Spurs, they're not getting past the Rockets or the Warriors. So it is highly unlikely that the big three of DeAndre, Blake, and Paul will remain. But we'll see what happens, and if they can keep Chris Paul and DeAndre Jordan, which would be the smart thing, and let Blake leave, because honestly, DeAndre means more to the Clippers than Blake Griffin. Paul George, this would be their projected lineup: Chris Paul, JJ Redick, Paul George, Maurice Space, DeAndre Jordan, considering that Maurice Space starts, or Luke Mamute. Or they could sign a quality four, to take up some minutes and just fill that role. Moving on, we got the best destination for Paul George, the Boston Celtics. Now I say the Boston Celtics because the Celtics and Paul George kind of need each other. The Celtics are a well-coached team behind the mastermind of Brad Stevens. They play an unselfish brand of basketball and have one player in Isaiah Thomas that can really take over a game when needed. But he has done that one too many times, and that has taken a toll on him. And he kind of needs somebody hot, a top scorer in the NBA to take the scoring load off of him. And what better than Paul George? One of the best scorers in the league, without a doubt. With trading or signing Paul George, which I think the smart move for Boston is that they trade for him before he becomes a free agent, trade their future picks for Paul George, considering that in this year's draft is loaded with point guards such as De'Aaron Fox, Lonzo Ball, Markelle Fultz, so on and so forth. They don't really need a guard. They're already guard heavy, and
This is a homage beat.
and given that this trade, considering that this trade goes down, the Pacers get future assets, and the Celtics get a second superstar to match up with Isaiah Thomas. This would give them a legitimate chance of beating LeBron James and the Cavaliers. This gives Paul George a better chance of taking down LeBron and finally having some success, not having to carry a team just to lose. This also would be the smart move for Paul George because, as we all know, the Eastern Conference is definitely weaker than the Western Conference. This is an interesting topic, and I just wanted to touch on it. So, if you guys have any other destinations that seem reasonable for Paul George, please comment your thoughts below. And until next time, it's been your boy. I'm out.